some of you have small ones, and some of you have big ones, and it doesn't make any difference. You want firm ones.
This is Richard Simmons, 134 pounds of fat-fighting fury, the Billy Graham and Sergeant Bilko of both. In Richard's crusade to get people to cut calories, he's as evangelical as any fundamentalist and as tough as any drill sergeant.
I want to see 25 of these, 10, 10, and 5. Stop complaining. You've got to go home with this body, not me. Now let's do them. Give me 10. 10.
Richard's fat-fighting philosophy is to combine rigorous exercise with strict dieting. It sounds very sensible and very loud.
I get jazzed when I come here. I can't get jazzed all by myself.
Although Richard's a little off, not playing with quite a full deck, I think. He makes it fun.
I can't do it at home by myself. I just won't do it. And I come here and I do it, or else you get yelled at.
Come on!
And in some serious cases, he does more than yell.
Down! Come on, Annie! Up! Down!
If the place looks like an asylum, it is. Richard calls it the Anatomy Asylum. The asylum is adjacent to a salad bar restaurant he owns called Roughage on the edge of Beverly Hills. Twice a night, 6 days a week, women and men pack the place. And if it weren't for Richard's voice, you could almost hear the pounds fall off.
I lost about 25 pounds.
I've lost about 30 pounds, and I come 5 days a week.
I lost 11 pounds in about 3 weeks.
Give it to me! Give it to me!
If Richard is tough in his classes, it's because it was tough for him. They say for every fat person, there's a thin person screaming to get out. Well, Richard told me this is the thin Richard who screamed to get out of the fat Richard.
I was 268 pounds, and so far I've taken off 134 pounds. I was heavy all during my life. I mean, while other kids were playing ball, I was making chocolate souffles.
Was there anyone else in your family who was overweight?
The parakeet. I went to the seminary to be a priest. I figured, all those long black things, who would ever know you were overweight?
But Richard didn't end up a priest in the church, but as a born-again piece of fruit in a commercial.
So I was the first grape in Fruit of the Loom, and I was the dancing hamburger and a peanut butter spokesman. But I was fat.
What was it that compelled you to lose all that weight?
I had a friend who had a friend who died from obesity, from just being fat. And that's when I started going to autopsies, like, looking at people's hearts and being able to take this picture into the classroom and go, do you see this heart? This heart is covered with cookies and pies and grease. And your heart may look like this, and you never know when it's going to stop beating.
Weren't you afraid that if you lost weight, you couldn't get work as an actor if you were thin?
Every fat person has the fear that they will change in some way, mentally, physically, spiritually, and sexually, if that weight loss goes. I tried every diet in the whole world. I had the jaws wired, I tried the pills, I tried the shots, and finally I basically starved. I lost 123 pounds in 2.5 months. My hair fell out, the eyes drooped, the chin drooped. If you don't exercise while you're losing the weight, you will end up to look like a very thin glad bag. I had to go to a plastic surgeon. Chin had to go up, eyes had to be done, nose fixed, 900 hair transplants. I mean, you're looking at a 4-door Cadillac paid for when you look at this face.
What's to prevent other people from looking at you and saying, hey, Richard did it, why can't I do it?
Because they should make the same anguish mistake that I made, because I almost died.
To see that people lose their weight and not their lives, Richard does more than put his convictions where his calories used to go. He conducts special classes for women who were much heavier than him when he was the 268-pound Fruit of the Loom grape.
3, 1. Come on, all the way. Fat people who are very overweight do not like to exercise near Q-tips. They watch each other. They make phone calls to each other. And it's a way of saying, you're 400 pounds and I'm 400 pounds. You failed on diet and I failed on diet. But now Richard cares, and we're going to bust our chops and do it together.
Richard cares to such an extent, many attend his classes free.
Move, come on, move it. Some of them don't pay. Some of them are not married, have children, or divorced, or no one cares about them, and they can't get hired for jobs. If you're 400 pounds, you're unemployed. I just love these people.
Richard saved my life. Before I came here, I literally couldn't move. I could barely walk up the stairs to my apartment. I couldn't walk a half a block down the street. And I think that if I hadn't found Richard, I think I would have had a heart attack or a stroke or I don't know what, but I don't think I would have been around very much longer.
No men don't have a man, you know, that's pressure. So, so then now, you know, I come here and Richard is kind of like your man, you know, and your daddy, you know, and all together, you know, so he cheers me up.
The exercises really helped me because when I first started here, Richard said, okay, I want you to touch your toes, and I went, and that was it. And 10 weeks later, I'm doing this.
Richard gives these women hope, confidence, and most of all, slimmer bodies. And when they leave the classes to go on with their lives, many of them give Richard little piggies. As a matter of fact, his whole apartment is populated with pig mementos, from pig pillows to...
Lady made this, she sent me a little ballerina pig, or a pig wand, where you can be very upset with somebody and you just touch them and they gain 30 pounds. Someone gave me a pig and said, you helped so many people who were pigs, and now you've made them into swans, and you'll never be a pig again, and neither will they. Linda Stone started at 301 pounds and is now 255 and a half.